You're typing a message. One word would do it, but you delete it. You add a reason, then another, then. Just so you know where I'm coming from. You read it back, you smooth it out, you hit send, and you still sit there, waiting for them to be upset. You think you're being polite, or that you just talk too much. You're not. You're proving something. Every time. Proving that you're allowed. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that no wasn't enough on its own. That your choice needed a permit. That before you're allowed to want what you want, you have to hand someone a reason, and they have to stamp it. So every time you decline, every time you choose yourself, you reach for your wallet. You pay in explanations. Here's why. Here's the context. Here's proof I'm not a bad person. It's a toll. You pay it to be yourself, one excuse at a time. And the strange part? Nobody's working the booth. You know this one. Let me just name it out loud. And yes, I do every single one of these myself. Someone asks you for something, you say no, and your mouth keeps going. The reason. Then a backup reason, in case the first one isn't good enough. You hear yourself doing it, and you can't stop. Or you write, I can't make it. Then 3 more lines explaining the thing you can't make it to. Like you're submitting evidence to a court that never asked. Or you open with, sorry to bother you, before you've even said the thing. Apologizing for showing up in someone's notifications at all. And then there's the quiet one. You say, I can't, when the truth is, I don't want to. Because I can't comes with an excuse built in. I don't want to stands there with nothing to hide behind, and we both know which one it usually is. Notice what all of these share. You're explaining when no one is arguing, and it's not everyone either. A courier, a stranger. You say no and hang up, and you never think about it again. It's a specific few who turn you into a lawyer. So it was never about convincing them. It was about not losing them. The question is why those few, and why your body still treats losing them like not surviving. Notice what your body does before your mind catches up. The breath you pull in to start justifying. The apology already loading in your throat. The way your shoulders climb toward your ears the second someone looks even slightly let down. That isn't a decision. It's older than your decisions. And here's where you'd usually reach for the easy answer. It's from childhood. Maybe. But knowing where it started never made it stop, did it? You've known for years. You still reach for the wallet. So the past isn't what's running this. Something in the present is. You go back anyway, just to the first time your no cost you something. A hug you didn't want, a plate you couldn't finish. You say no, and you watch a face you love go flat. The warmth just switches off. No yelling. Worse than yelling. A door closing behind someone's eyes. And you do the math in a second. The no did that. So the no needs insurance. Enough reasons and the face stays warm. Enough reasons and nobody calls you difficult or ungrateful. There's a name for this. Therapists call it fawning. Not fight, not flight, but make yourself easy to keep. The fourth thing a kid does when the first 3 aren't safe. You were running it before anyone handed you the word. And that's the part that's still here. Not the old face that went flat, but the deal you never renegotiated. Somewhere you set a price on being kept, a reason, and you've been paying it ever since. To people who never charged it. Here's what the explaining actually does. You pile on words to close the distance, and every one of them nudges the other person a step further away. Watch a face next time. You say no, then you keep talking, and somewhere in the third reason, their eyes go somewhere else. Not angry, just done. You felt the gap and tried to fill it with words, and the words are what widened it. And every reason you add is a handle. A plain no is smooth. There's nothing to grab. But no, because I'm tired, hands them one. Well, rest tomorrow then. You didn't open that door because they're a villain. You opened it yourself, hoping the explanation would make the no land softer. It almost never does. But there's something crueler underneath. Something the explaining does to you. The harder you argue your case, the more a part of you starts to believe there must be a case. Why else would you need this many reasons? So the justifying doesn't clear the guilt. It feeds it. Every excuse whispers the same thing back. If I have to work this hard to defend it, maybe I really did do something wrong. And here's the cruel joke. Every excuse you reach for to climb out only digs you in deeper. So what's left if you put the reasons down? Silence. The exact thing you've been afraid of this whole time. You say no, and then nothing. No paragraph, no softening. Just the word sitting in the air between you. And it rings. It feels rude. It feels like you left something unfinished. Like they can see the empty space where the excuse was supposed to go. Stay in that ringing for a second. Because that silence isn't a gap you forgot to fill. It's the line. The edge of you, finally visible to someone else. A boundary isn't the speech you give for it. It's the quiet you can stand to leave there. It won't feel like freedom the first time. Not even close. The first time you let a no stand on its own, your heart will pound like you've done something dangerous. The old reasons will crowd up your throat, desperate to get out. You'll want to send the follow-up text, just to smooth it over. Don't. Let it be awkward. Just say, I can't make it. Then stop. Let the pause stretch, even if it feels like forever. And then watch what actually happens. The person doesn't fall apart. Most of the time they just say, okay, and move on, with a casualness that almost makes you angry. Because it was never as big to anyone as it was to you. And that face, the one you've braced for your whole life, it doesn't go flat. Adult faces don't switch off the way the first one did. You've been bracing for an expression that vanished 20 years ago. That's when it starts to loosen. Not when you understand all this. When you live through the silence once and find you're still in one piece on the other side. So walk back up to the booth, the one you've been paying at for years, reason after reason. Look inside. It's empty. It was always empty. The permit you kept buying, you were the only one who ever asked to see it. Reasons aren't the enemy. Sometimes a little context is a gift. The enemy is the reflex, the hand reaching for the wallet before anyone's asked to see a thing. So you can stop reaching. You're allowed to want what you want, even when it won't fit into a reason that sounds good out loud. You don't owe everyone the paragraph. You can let a silence ring and walk away while it's still in the air. Your no is a complete sentence. If you felt that, the pull to explain, even now, even just hearing this, then you already know none of this was ever about being polite. This channel is for the people who learn to earn their place one reason at a time. The ones quietly learning to set the wallet down. And if there's someone in your life who explains every no to death, they're not exhausting. They're paying the same toll. Send them this instead of waiting for the reason. So tell me one thing. The line you reach for most to justify a no. Drop it in the comments. Let's look at them together, all of us, and say it out loud. We don't owe these anymore. I'll be reading the comments.